Welcome back, and thank you for watching more with Margot and Gypsy's Hope. What advice would you give to a new client of Gypsy's Hope?
I do get a fair amount of people who've never tried reflexology, and they just see it on, I have a Groupon, so they'll see it on Groupon and they want to try it. And they come in and they have no idea what it's about. So I kind of feel like people should do a little bit of research before they purchase a Groupon or purchase a session anyway, whether it's, me that they're coming to or any other reflexologist. Same with Reiki. People have a tendency to, I have a client coming in next week and she's like, well, I thought Reiki was massage therapy. And I'm like, well, it is, but I'm working on your energy. I'm not working on the muscles. And she's like, that doesn't make sense to me. I said, okay, do you want this session? And she said, yes, because now I'm curious and I want to learn about it. So, which is fine. And I'm grateful if you come in saying, I don't know anything about this. I'm curious, but let me know right off the bat you're curious. Don't come in and say, I know nothing about this and I didn't know this is what it was.
So you don't do massage?
Correct. I am not a massage therapist.
Okay, so when you're doing Reiki, you're not actually touching the body?
Generally, no. However, there are times where I might feel pulled to, so I always ask the client at the beginning of the session, if I feel pulled to, can I, put my hands on you? And I'll demonstrate. I'll say, like if I'm doing this, so I'm putting my hands, just laying them on. I'm not going in and doing a deep tissue type work.
Okay.
So that they see the difference.
Okay.
And 9 times out of 10, they're okay with it. There's a few people, the reason they do Reiki is because they can't handle somebody touching them. And I have utmost respect for that, because you don't know the person's trauma unless they tell you ahead of time. So,
How long are appointments for reflexology and Reiki typically?
Typically, Reiki can be I've done short ones for about 20 minutes. I've done 2-hour sessions, and anything in between. On average, it's usually an hour. I'll usually do the Reiki itself for about 40 to 45 minutes and then talk to them about anything I saw during that time. Because I don't just work on the one chakra they come in for. I check on all the others to make sure they're all flowing okay and helping each other out. And I have a tendency to get visions of each chakra. So as an example, if I was working on this lovely lady doing Reiki, I might see in her root chakra that, her feet are grounding in the dirt, as an example, which tells me that she's keeping herself rooted to the ground and not flying and being spacey. Where her third eye might be really hot if I put my hand over it, because there are times where I can do this to somebody, this to show you distance-wise, and I can feel the heat coming off of their third eye, and it tells me that it's active. But I might feel or see smut over it, so I'll tell them about that afterwards, saying, it's a little dirty. Have you been allowing it to get cloudy, or do you have a wall up that you're not, you don't want the third eye to work or something? So that helps them see that I do see things. I'm not just doing this and then nothing else. And that's where my intuitive abilities come in handy with Reiki.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the chakras?
I can try. The root chakra is your low chakra at your hips. Your sacral chakra would be your organs that make you you. So whether you're male or female, that's your sacral area. Going up, it would be your solar plexus or solar chakra. So that's your stomach. I actually use the metaphor of the sun, because all the nutrients that come into the body get digested through that chakra. And so good or bad, it's either going to send the good nutrients everywhere else, or bad, it's going to flush them out through the sacral, and maybe your sacral is blocked, so whatever you're flushing out through your solar will get blocked in the sacral, that kind of thing. The next one up would be your heart chakra, and obviously the heart, but also the lungs and respiratory system. And then your throat chakra would be your throat, your mouth, your ears, nose, so forms of communication. And then above the throat chakra is your third eye. And although a lot of people say, oh, third eye, it's intuitive, it's, what you see in the back of your head, or in, when your eyes are closed, you can sense things or whatever. It's all of that. But it's also just your brain working actively too, so you need to take care of that. And then your crown chakra would be above the head, but it's also connected to the skin, which is your protection, your shield from everything else. Your skin protects your muscles, it protects your nervous system, it protects the bones and all of that, and that's what the crown chakra does. And I also work with the auroric field, which is also 7 layers of aura as well, and it does the same concept as the chakras in the body. So it'd be the ground, the grounding chakra all the way up to the spiritual chakra. Examples of people who are strongly connected to spiritual chakra would be Gandhi, Mother Teresa, but in order for them to communicate the messages they were hearing, they would have to come back to their grounding chakra to be able to communicate what they were feeling and sensing.
What do few know about Gypsy's Hope or about reflexology and Reiki?
I get a lot of people wondering why the name Gypsy's Hope. And that's a valid question because some people take offense to the word gypsy. I have actually moved around so much since I left for college at the age of 18 that I've lived in 7 or 8 different states here in the U.S. And within those states, I've had probably a total of 30 some addresses. And I'm 43, so my nickname became Gypsy as well as Mermaid because every place I've lived has been near a big body of water. So I thought, I always have hope. I have hope for humanity. And with my nickname of Gypsy, it just made sense to call it Gypsy's Hope. And I started out making candles, and then just as I was doing that, I started being more accepting of my own gifts and my own abilities. And a doctor was the one who actually said, why aren't you doing this? We need Reiki masters in the surgery rooms down the line when we're ready because you are already working on healing the spirit and the mind while we're working on the physical. And the two together in the surgery rooms make sense. And you're the strongest one I know. And I went, really? Okay. And it was right when I needed a change in my life and the floodgates opened and it was perfect. It was meant to be.
How long have you been practicing?
The Reiki I've been practicing for 5 years. Reflexology I've been practicing for 3 years. I had to think about that. I lose track of time.
Do these professions require certification, and if so, are you certified?
Yes, they do, and yes, I am.
What made you decide to be a reflexologist and Reiki master practitioner?
With the Reiki master, it was the doctor that I mentioned. He's known me since childhood. I mean, I would go into his office and I'd literally be like, I have strep throat because I didn't know how to fight back verbally to the kids on the playground when they were picking on me. And I knew my physical ailments were connected to my emotional. And it's rare for somebody, even at that age, to be that in tune with what's really going on. And reflexology kind of fell in my lap. I've always been interested in it. I've had feet problems since I was a kid, so I can completely relate to how it helps and benefits the body. But when I started doing Reiki at the location I'm currently at, the owner suggested reflexology, and within a week, 2 other people, not knowing she had suggested it, also suggested that that would be something I could do, and I went, okay. Things come in threes. I've heard this 3 times. Let me look at this. And yes, I need to do this. This is fascinating. And so I fell down that rabbit hole and I haven't looked back.
Where are you located?
I am currently located at Arizona Spa in New Berlin, Wisconsin.
Do you take insurance?
I can't at this time. Insurance companies do not cover Reiki or reflexology. What you would do for the question is, how does the bottom of the feet reflect to the rest of the body? And within that answer, the toes or the hands even, because the hands also do reflexology as well. And I can also do reflexology on the face. I'm still learning it, but I could down the line if I truly wanted to claim I can. So this line right here is your neckline, and this is your brain. So this would be like your throat, eyes, ears, nose, forehead, all that stuff. And then and the toes are the same way. And then on the bottoms of the toes and here, so the extra padding on the toes, up to the neckline is going to be your respiratory system. Depending on which foot will reflect if the heart's in there. So like this side would be, you'd have the pressure point for the heart, as an example. So if I wanted to, somebody came in and let's say they had a stroke a few years back and they still feel like they have some issues, I can work around the heart through the toes and the hand, or basically the bottom of the feet. And then depending on, like with the feet, below the respiratory line is the natural waistline, not the fashion waistline. And the natural waistline up to the respiratory system would be like your solar plexus, so your stomach and all the organs in that area. And then below that would be the hip line. If I'm going from a side view here, hip line is about here, waistline is about here. So you're dealing with like the pancreas and the liver and all of that. And then at the hip line down to here would be hip line to toes. The ball cap, so to speak, for the kneecap is right here on the bottom of the heel. And it just kind of goes from there. On this side of the foot, since I've got it displayed, up here is going to be your shoulder joint, and down here is going to be your hip joint. On the inside, so on the hand, or yes, the inside here. So on the hand, it's going to be here. On here, this is the backbone. And it's the side of the backbone, because you never, even massage therapists, you never work directly on the backbone because how little there is padding that backbone directly. You don't want to do any damage to the person because one little bit of damage can be a domino effect of other damage. And so the nice thing is with this, not only am I working on the side of the backbone, but I can go in with my fingers and actually pop any, air bubbles between the vertebrae. Okay.
Do you want to give us a little example of doing some reflexology?
Sure. So I'm actually going to keep you bent. Normally I don't keep them bent, but so that you can see the screen a little bit and the foot because of the recording. So as an example, just doing this, it's called walking the foot. Now the nice thing is with reflexology, you can actually buy books and learn how to do it at home. But it's so much better when somebody works on you. So when you're at home and you're sitting in the cross-legged position, it's not going to flow well because you've got your leg bent. So you do that, and then depending on what you're doing, like during the wintertime especially, I love doing this type of technique because it helps separate up the metatarsals, and I do it on the top of the foot as well. And that helps the feet spread because, in wintertime in Midwest, our feet are squished in the shoes. And we don't want that. We want them spread out. We want them to breathe. We want the muscles to feel relaxed. We don't want them to get all tense from a shoe that's making our feet claustrophobic, so to speak. So.
Thank you, Margot. I appreciate you sitting down with me today.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me to do so.
Thank you for watching, and please click the description for all of Margot's contact information.